How's everybody doing this morning? This is Rich Harshaw, and I am with Monopolize Your Marketplace, here today to discuss what I consider to be the most important marketing principle of all of them. So if you look at anything else you can think of, any other topic you could possibly want to cover, from lead generation to internet marketing to home shows to sales to scripting to anything else, all of it begins with what we're going to be talking about today, which is the topic of identity. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start the presentation. Make sure that everything is working good from a technology standpoint. I believe it is. Just give you a brief, pardon me, overview of who Monopolize Your Marketplace is and what kind of credentials we have, so that you can have a little bit of confidence in what you're going to hear today. My name is Rich Harshaw, like I stated before. I'm the founder, author, and CEO of Monopolize Your Marketplace. Started this company in 1994 as a general marketing consultant. What that means is that I worked with all kinds of companies, not just remodelers, but any kind of company you can think of. For several years, worked with manufacturers and service companies, did work with several home improvement and remodeling companies, worked with the largest roofing company in the state of Texas back in the mid to late 90s as a $50 million roofing company. Learned a lot of things that have been integrated into what we'll be learning today. But for the first several years of the business was a general marketing consultant. I've done a lot of training. I do webinars like this anywhere from 5 to 10 times per month. I also do a lot of live training, whether it be speaking, keynotes. We have training sessions that last up to 5 days. So we've done a lot of training over the years and worked with lots of different companies. The idea here is to let you know that I've seen a lot of things. Everything we're going to talk about today is based on experience. It's not some kind of hypothesis that I thought up and who knows, maybe this will work, maybe it won't. This is stuff that has consistently been essential for as long as I've been doing this, okay? We started specializing with remodeling companies in 2005. About 9 years ago now, I got a call from a guy named Tim Mush, who you'll hear from a little bit later on this webinar, from his company called Market Sharp. He invited me to do what they called in those days a teleconference. This is essentially a webinar, but in those days we called them teleconferences with remodelers. And I got involved in this industry when I found out that there just really weren't that many remodeling marketing experts in the industry. So I got involved, and it's been a great experience in the last 9 years working almost exclusively with remodeling companies, and then in the last 2 to 3 years working only and exclusively with remodeling companies. We introduced a program in 2007 called MYM Live and MYM Insider. These are training programs where we conducted training with our customers, typically anywhere from about 5 to 6 webinars per month, recorded and put on our website. And we found that our customers really like that training. However, we also found out that it's fairly difficult to take what you learn on a webinar and in a training environment and actually make it something that you can put into your business and work, especially when you're talking about marketing. So a couple of years ago, I got a little bit frustrated with my clients' lack of ability to convert what they were learning in webinars into actual real-world workable marketing stuff. And they kept coming to me saying, hey, can you build a website for me? And can you create these ads for me? And can you do these marketing services for me? And before that, we were mostly a training company, and we would tell them, well, you know, go find somebody to do that stuff for you. And the results were dismal. They just couldn't make it work. So in 2012, we started doing fulfillment services where we actually do these types of services for our clients, and that's what we do today. We are still a training company. We do a lot of training, like I mentioned, but we're a marketing fulfillment services company in the home improvement industry. We work with kitchen and bath remodelers, whole house remodelers. We also do a lot of work with exterior remodelers, whether it be windows, siding, sunrooms, decks, roofing, metal roofing, gutter protection, all of the above. We work with those kinds of companies. So that just gives you a feel for who we are and what we do. And like I said, everything that we're going to talk about in this webinar is born from real experience with real companies. We've got just a little bit over 100 clients right now that we work with web services, SEO, ad writing, radio and TV campaigns, you name it, we do it for them, okay? So let me give you an idea of who some of our sponsors are. Without the sponsors, there wouldn't be a webinar. So I'm going to encourage you after this webinar, if you found there was value in what you've learned, I'm going to encourage you to send a little note, just shoot a quick email to the sponsor that invited you to this webinar, and tell them thanks for having you on here, because it does cost them money, as you can imagine, and it does take some time and effort to put this kind of thing together, and they're responsible for it. So we'll be hearing in just a couple of minutes here, we'll hear from a few of these sponsors, and then later on in the middle of the webinar, we'll hear from a few of the other sponsors. Now, you can expect this webinar to last approximately an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes, something like that. We'll take some Q&A at the end, and I have a policy that says I'll stay until the very last question is answered. So if you've got some questions, jot them down. I'd be happy to answer them at the end of the webinar. But we do have a large crowd. Obviously, we can't take questions during the middle of the webinar, but save them, and we'll get back to them towards the end. Okay? I'm also going to be doing a giveaway today. We're going to give away, during the middle part of the webinar, I'm going to give away 2 books called Monopolize Your Marketplace. Ta-da! Imagine that, Monopolize Your Marketplace. So we'll be giving those away in the middle part when we hear from some of our sponsors in the middle. And then if you stay with me all the way to the end, I'm going to give away a 10-CD set called the Remodeling Contractor Marketing Boot Camp. Now, this is 10 CDs that covers all of the fundamental marketing things that you need to know as a remodeler. It covers identity and home shows and telemarketing and ad writing and all these different things. I don't have a list of it in front of me right now, but this is what we'll give away. We sell this program for $400, but we'll be giving one away at the end. But you do have to be present to win, so if you'll stick around to the end, you'll have a chance to win that. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is hear from some of our sponsors. I'm going to go ahead and speak for Gutter Covers International. This is a company that obviously does gutter covers, and you may have heard of one of their products, which is called Gutter Topper. It's owned by a gentleman named Tony Iannelli, and Tony Michaels is their Vice President of Sales, and he couldn't be with us today, but I told him I would just talk a little bit about Gutter Covers International. This is an interesting company. There's obviously about 1,000 different companies that sell gutter covers out there that you can potentially get involved with. But I want to tell you something about this specific company. They said something to me that really caught my attention and really made me want to get them on board as a sponsor, which is this. Tony Iannelli, the owner, said, look, we created the Gutter Topper product, and it was a great product, and it worked in about 90% of the situations, but it didn't work in 100% of the situations. And I said, wait a second, you're admitting to me that this product doesn't work in every single situation? Because what do all the gutter products say? They all say, well, it works every single situation. And Tony Iannelli went and engineered, I think it's 4, maybe 5 now, different products to deal with different kinds of leaf situations, different kinds of pine needle situations in different parts of the country. And he's got a complete line that does handle literally 100% of all kinds of problems that people have with leaves. So it's a great company. They've got great pricing. In terms of the gross margins, they run about 60%, a little bit over 60%. So if you're interested in adding a product line to your repertoire, this is a good way to get involved. It's a good add-on product or something you can go back to your existing customers and sell later. So look them up online, guttercoversinternational.com, and I will give you later on in this webinar an opportunity to, via a poll, to show and express interest in some of these sponsors. So if you want to be contacted by some of these sponsors, you can either reach out to them or you can just wait for the poll and you can say, yes, I'm interested in gutter covers, I'm interested in Market Sharp, etc. That's coming up in just a little bit. The second company I want to introduce you to is called Guild Quality, and this is a company that I actually sought out because I saw a very desperate need for this kind of service, and I do have Erica England online with me right now. Erica, are you there?
I am. Thanks, Rich.
Hey, Erica, can you tell us a little bit about Guild Quality and what you folks do over there?
Absolutely. And, you know, the webinar today hits on this, that all contractors face the challenge of differentiating their business from their competition. And we at Guild Quality think that the key to breaking through the clutter is to enhance your customer relationships and promote your company's quality. That's where we can help. We gather authentic feedback, including reviews from clients, and share it with you in real time. From that, you're able to easily identify your company's strengths and weaknesses and ultimately improve your business. The authentic feedback we gather on companies' behalf is also pushed to a unique profile page where homeowners can learn more about your company. This is a really powerful differentiator. In fact, a member of ours who is actually an Atlanta replacement contractor, that's where we're based, he earned a $75,000 project because of the authentic customer comments and reviews found on their Guild Quality profile page. Their customer simply did a Google search and found their page on our site, and through reading their customer feedback determined that the company was quality-minded and credible. So I'd encourage anybody on the call today, if they'd like to experience what being a Guild Quality member is all about, to sign up for a free trial. And to do so, you'll visit guildquality.com/free trial.
Okay, Erica, thank you so much. I appreciate you being on with us today, and also appreciate you being a sponsor. So like I said, you can contact Erica through their website. You can call this phone number. And also, a little bit later on in this webinar, I will have a poll where you can express interest in any of these sponsors. When you do that, they'll know that you're interested, and they'll reach out to you. Okay? So thanks to Erica, and also thanks to Qualified Remodeler Magazine. Rob Hesselbarth is the editor-in-chief, was not able to make it onto the webinar today, but I think everybody knows Qualified Remodeler Magazine, the leading authority in this space in terms of magazines, and we've been we've been affiliated with this sponsor for, gosh, at least 2 years solid now. But before that, even we've been involved with the Top 500 program on a couple occasions. I've spoken at their event. Just a fantastic magazine, and of course an online property, a lot of good information. I do a blog there. I write for the magazine. So would like to thank Qualified Remodeler Magazine also. Okay? Well, let's get into the topic today, which is identity. And as we get started, I just want to impress on you that the rules have changed in remodeling over the last several years. And this is pretty recent stuff. Two things happened in 2007 that really drastically, in my opinion, and probably in your opinion too, I don't know, stick with me and see what you think, really changed the rules of marketing for lots of different kinds of companies, but for sure for remodeling companies. The first one was the recession. You know, people just got really overcautious with their money. Now, it's loosened up a little bit in the last couple of years, and I wrote a blog posting at the beginning of this month predicting that people would get a little bit looser with their money as 2014 progressed, and I believe that's true. But, you know, there is some psychic damage there where people say, you know, I had money and then it was gone, or I was uncertain, was I going to keep my job? And when people are uncertain about their money, they tend to not spend it. Even if they have it, they tend to not spend it. And this, of course, affects all kinds of things when it comes to remodeling, particularly with, you know, the larger ticket items. So this was one thing that happened. People want to really scrutinize contractors before they hire them. They're not just going to hand out the money willy-nilly to anybody that says, hey, you know, I've got a hammer and a truck. So there's a scrutinization process that's going to happen, and this plays heavily into this concept of identity that we'll get to in just a second. The second thing was the iPhone was invented. This was in 2007. Both of these things were in 2007, and the iPhone was really a dramatic change in the way marketing happened. And here's why. Because now people have instant access to anything via the Internet. It's right there in their pocket, and it's a little bit hard to remember before smartphones and back when you had a BlackBerry and a flip phone and all that kind of stuff, before there was anything called an iPad. This was also about the same time when people started getting wireless Internet in their home. So before that, people had Internet, but it wasn't wireless. It wasn't on their laptop as they were sitting on the couch or laying in bed. It was tethered to their desk. And in 2007, that all started to change. When people get an idea about anything now, they just look it up. By the time your ad runs, they've already Googled it. So the guy's sitting there on his couch and he thinks, man, I need to fix my roof. In 2006 or 5, that guy never did anything about it. He waited a couple of days or weeks until your ad ran. He saw it. It reminded him that, man, I need to fix my roof, and he called. Now, not so much. So direct response advertising have decreased significantly. So let me give you an example. Because people have easier instant access to information, when you placed an ad, we're going back to 2004, 5, 6, something like that. If you placed an ad, let's just say hypothetically, 10 people would call. Now you place the same ad, and here's what happens. Now, obviously, this is just an illustration. It's not going to be the same every single time, but it gives you a pretty good idea. 4 people are going to get an idea, search online before they ever see your ad. They're going to look it up on their phone or their laptop or their tablet, computer, and your only chance to reach that person is via search marketing, okay? Now, there's going to be another 2 people that see your ad and call, just like in the olden days, but there's going to be 4 people that see your ad and look you up online to learn more about you before they call. Now, again, these are people that before would have just called, but now they're going to see your ad and they're going to say, let me think about this for a minute, and they're going to look you up. And if they like what they see, they might call you. If they don't like what they see, you might not get that call. So 3 of those, in my experience, aren't going to convert into a call, and they have what's called conversionability issues. That means that people didn't really like what they found on your website, and that's really what we're going to try to fix today. Not just websites, but websites being an important part of your entire marketing campaign. One of them does call and becomes a lead, and now the net result is you get 2 or 3 calls instead of 10. This is where your leads have gone that you used to get when you placed your ad. They're still out there. It's not like there's fewer people in the marketplace buying. They're just coming to you via different means. And if you run the same marketing program expecting the same results that you did in 2005 and 2006, you're hosed, man. It's not going to work. And you say, well, I am doing it. It is working. Well, number 1, it's not working as well. And number 2, I promise you, every single day that passes, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. So the ramifications of this from a marketing standpoint are significant and many. First of all, you can't count on direct response advertising anymore. You just can't. I'm not saying it doesn't work and it won't work and you can't do it. I'm saying it's less likely to work than it used to be. Advertising now is a lot more about building relationships, not just making the phone ring right now. Obviously, if we can make the phone ring right now, that's good. But advertising is different now. You can't just only rely on direct response marketing. Internet marketing is not optional anymore. If you're not any good at internet marketing, if you say, well, you know, that we'll let the young whippersnappers figure that out, you're hosed. You got to get on top of this right now. Your website has to just convert. It can't just look nice. And a big part of what we're going to talk about today is conversion, getting people to understand who you are, why you're different, why you're better, and why they should do business with you instead of anybody else. Identity, okay? The name of the game now is differentiation. It's always been the name of the game, but now it's triple important. And I want you to understand exactly why. Because before, when the guy got the idea to fix his roof or remodel his kitchen or get a new window, and he was sitting there and he saw your ad, he was very likely to call the company whose ad he saw. And he was less likely to shop it as intensely. Now, he might look for another ad, and he might look for another ad, and he might make it over his computer and do some search. But now it's a sure thing. You've got to stand out from the crowd. You can't just be the company that got lucky because your ad happened to run at the right time. To differentiate, you have to forge an identity, okay? Now, here's the definition of identity. This is mission critical. If you're taking notes, which you should be, write this down, write it down right now, okay? Words, phrases, and images that are articulated with power, precision, and passion, instantly and definitively communicate who you are, how you're different and better, and what customers can expect when doing business with you. Now, let's break this down and look at it from several different angles for just a minute here. Number 1, power, precision, and passion. I'm going to throw this out there right now. Your current marketing, whether it be your brochure, your website, your advertisements, your home show booth, it does not communicate with power, precision, and passion. If you think I'm wrong, well, just stick around. You'll see what I mean. I'll give you a ton of examples of this as we go through this. That instantly and definitively, first of all, instantly, right away, instantly, definitively, without question, communicate who you are, how you're different and better, and what customers can expect when doing business with you. Look, here's how this works. People are always asking this question in their mind, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, which is, who should I hire to do this job? I need new windows. Who should I get to do it? I need a new roof. Who should I get to do it? I need to remodel my kitchen. Who should I get to do it? And they're wondering, who should I get? Because they don't know. How would they know? People don't have a remodeler on file ready to call anytime they need something. You know, if my car breaks down, I take it to the same place every time. If my air conditioner breaks down, I've got a little sticker on my thermostat that I call all the time. If I need a haircut, I've been going to the same place for the last 10 years straight every single month. It's a sure thing I'm going back, okay? Remodelers, not so much. They don't know who to call. They don't even know what the questions are to ask the person they call. And if you don't supply that information, and if you don't facilitate that decision-making process, then you, my friend, are going to lose. Well, what are you talking about? We get business. I'm talking about getting exceptional, monopolized results as opposed to ordinary situational results. You're going to get some business from the natural flow of people looking for stuff, but that's not what we're after. What we're after is grabbing a massive chunk of the business and monopolizing the marketplace. It's not a cute slogan. It's not just a little thing that we say because, that sounds funny, monopolize your marketplace. No, it's the honest to goodness truth and reality of what you're trying to accomplish. You should be outraged when your prospective clients don't choose you and they go with your competition, whether it be because of money, because of any other, whatever the reason. You should be outraged because you should feel in your heart of hearts, you should feel like you are a better value, you're a better service, you've got a better product, you've got a higher quality. You should feel outraged if somebody does business with anybody else but you, regardless of the price. And what I'm going to show you how to do is take all that passion that you have for your business. I'm going to show you how to grab it and throw it on a page, throw it on a web page, throw it on a home show, throw it in your marketing so that people can instantly, definitively tell who you are, how you're different, why you're better, why they should do business with you, what they can expect. That's what we're here to talk about today. So hopefully you got it, okay? What do you want people to know about you? Here's what I found. Most remodeling companies have certain things that they do really well. You're good at something. Now, it's different for different companies. There's no one size fits all for this kind of stuff. It's got to be individually based. Every company's identity is like a fingerprint. It's unique and specific to that company. There are reasons that their customers love them. Your friends get referred to them. The key is to identify those things and articulate them in a way that is impossible to miss. Impossible to miss, okay? If a prospect can immediately tell what they can expect when doing business with you, then you lose, okay? You have to tell people what to expect. Now, let's take a look at a couple of examples here. Here's a website for a company called Curb Appeal. Enjoy the satisfaction of excellence. And now I'm going to blow this up a little bit on the screen. Here it is. Now, I'm going to go back so you can see. What I've done is I've just taken this text out of the middle of this web page, and I've just blown it up so you can read it, okay? Welcome to Curb Appeal Renovations. And what we're going to do is we're going to evaluate, is there an identity here? Welcome to Curb Appeal Renovations. Curb Appeal Renovations is a design, build, remodeling company that has been creating beautiful spaces in the areas of Southlake, Colleyville, Keller, Trophy Club, Grapevine, Flower Mound, Roanoke, North Richland Hills, Bedford, Hearst, Euless, Fort Worth, and surrounding areas since 1995. Our award-winning design, build, remodeling service includes kitchens, baths, whole home remodels, additions, universal design, and green building. Our design build process is designed to give you confidence that you're... Now, you know what this is sounding like? You remember watching Charlie Brown on the Thanksgiving or Christmas special? Remember when Charlie Brown's mother would talk to the kids, or the teacher would talk to the kids? Remember what it sounded like? Wah, 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 wah. Remember that? That's what this sounds like. It's just a bunch of garbage. It's stuff that people would expect you to say. In our definition, we call this a platitude. Platitudes are words or phrases that are drearily commonplace and predictable, that are spoken as if they were sort of profound and impactful, but in fact they're not. Everybody would expect you to say, you know, we're designed to give you confidence, enjoy the satisfaction of excellence. None of this stuff really means anything to anybody. We've got to find a way to communicate with more power, more passion, and more precision than what you're seeing right here. Here's another website that I could show you, and again, I'll bring this up. Home window installed by experts in Bridgeport, New Haven, Hartford, Danbury, and throughout Connecticut and Eastern. Whatever, perhaps your home windows aren't opening and closing as easily as you'd like, or maybe they're letting in drafts in the winter. No matter what the case is, by the way, they already know that if they're on this website looking for windows. It's called ordinary, dreary, platitudinal junk. That's what's happening here. This is a company that called me. The reason they called me is because their website is not working. It ranks very high in search, but it does not get any conversions because, well, you figure out why. It stinks. Okay, here's an ad for a bathroom company. We're obsessed with creating perfect bathrooms. High quality acrylic one-day installation. So easy to clean. No more mold. And when people look at this ad, it runs in one of those magazines that has a bunch of ads in it. You know what I'm talking about. They just look at it and they go, okay, it's a bathroom company, whatever. There's nothing unique, nothing special. There's no articulated power, precision, and passion. I can't instantly, definitively tell who they are, how they're different, why they're better, what I can expect when doing business with them. It looks like, quote, unquote, I'm doing air quotes, just another bathroom company. That, my friends, is a disaster if it's your company. Here's a home show. You walk by this home show, Lone Star Property Solutions, bathroom remodel, kitchen remodel. Are you impressed? Can you tell instantly, definitively who they are, how they're different, why you should do business with them, what you can expect when you hire them? The answer is absolutely, positively, you cannot. Okay? There's no question. It's not debatable. The answer is no. You can't. Okay? So let's talk about this principle, and this is kind of where it hinges into something that makes a big difference for your company. Confirmation bias. Here's the definition of confirmation bias. People look for evidence to support what they already believe and ignore or minimize evidence that goes against their beliefs. And I've put the picture on here of our good friend Barack Obama because, as everybody knows, you either love Barack Obama or you hate him. There's no in between. We got this big healthcare thing happening with the website, and it works or it doesn't work. And depending on who you ask, I saw a video yesterday of Bill O'Reilly had a correspondent that he sent to the Sundance Film Festival last week, and he asked people, what do you think about Obama and his health care? And they all said, it's great. Yeah, there's a couple little wrinkles in the website, but it's perfect. It's awesome. It's great. It's what we need. Because that's what they believe. Now, if you go ask Bill O'Reilly what he thinks, he'll say, I think it stinks. It's a piece of junk. People look for evidence to support what they believe and ignore or minimize evidence that goes against their beliefs. Now, this is an important concept in marketing because as a marketer, you have the ability to set the beliefs of your prospects. Now, I'm going to give you an example here that's outside of the industry to help you comprehend and understand and really put to practice this principle, okay? Here's what it is. It goes back about, gosh, I think about 9 years now. My family, every year, I've got 6 kids. We take a vacation. We live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we drive up to Boise, Idaho, where my in-laws live. We go up there for the 4th of July. It's great. We buy fireworks in Wyoming. It's a fun time. So we drive up there every year. I've got 6 kids, and 9 years ago, when I had 6 kids, they were a lot smaller. They range from age 9 to 20 now, but in those days, the youngest was only 6 months old, and the oldest was about 12, okay? So we're driving up there, and we get to the point of the drive where we feel like, we really need to take a stop for the night. We've, the kids are about to kill each other. You know how that goes, right? You've driven cross-country with kids. So we find the exit that has all the different hotels on it. You know the exit I'm talking about? There's like 4, 5, 6 hotels, and they all congregate on one exit. So we exit this hotel, and we exit looking for a hotel, and my wife has very specific requirements for hotels. And the first and foremost thing is that it's got to be new and clean. So we're kind of looking at the hotels from the outside, and that one looks old and crusty, and that one looks like it's been there for 100 years. And there was one that stood out. It was kind of shiny and new looking, and it was a Holiday Inn Express. So we go in, and we inquire, do you have any rooms? And they say, yeah, we do have rooms. And as we're checking in, well, actually, the first thing I always ask is, when was this hotel built? It's just a habit I have, and it was only built a couple years before. So we decided to stay there. As I'm checking in, I see a sign on the counter. Now, just imagine this with me. Close your eyes and imagine this with me for a second. We're checking in at the hotel, and on the counter next to where we're checking in, there's a little sign. It's about an 8.5 by 11, sitting in a plexiglass thing, and it says, "Welcome to the Holiday Inn, home of the Stay Smart bathroom, featuring the Stay Smart shower head by Kohler." And it had a big picture of this big butt-honking shower head that looked really huge, and it looked pretty cool. I'll be honest with you. It's a pretty cool-looking shower head. And I thought, okay, whatever. I think I've seen a TV commercial for this. Can't really remember. I can't really place it, but whatever. We checked into the rooms, and as we got up into the rooms, the kids started jumping between the beds and turning the TV on and all that kind of stuff that kids do. But here's what happened. Right next to the TV on the dresser, there was another sign. It said, "Welcome to your room at your earliest convenience. Go check out the Stay Smart bathroom, featuring the Stay Smart shower head by Kohler," and another picture of this big shower head. Now, I'm a marketing guy, so I was intrigued, just like the song of the sirens, "Come look at the bathroom." So I went into the bathroom, and sure enough, there was on the counter in the bathroom another sign that said, "Welcome to the Stay Smart bathroom, featuring," and then it had 4 bullet points. Number 1, oversized plush towels. And I looked over and I squeezed the towel, and I thought, wow, that's a big plush towel. That's pretty cool. Number 2, a bowed-out shower curtain rod, right? You know what I'm talking about, these bowed-out shower curtain rods that they have in hotels. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool because, nobody really wants to be touching somebody else's naked, so that's good. Number 3, designer toiletries. And I looked down on the counter, and there were these little bottles of shampoo and mouthwash and conditioner and lotion, and they looked really cool. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. And then number 4, of course, was what? The Stay Smart shower head by Kohler. And I thought, wow, this thing must be pretty freaking awesome. And I looked back and I can't see it because that bowed out shower curtain rod, the shower curtain is closed. So I grab it and I whip it open, and sure enough, there it is in all of its glorious splendor, the Stay Smart Shower Head by Kohler. And you want to know how I knew that's what it was? Look at your screen. Because there was a sign hanging from the dang thing. A sign hanging from the shower head telling me, here's the shower head. And you can see on there, it's got 3 different settings. It's got rejuvenating, relaxing, reinvigorating, and I couldn't help it. I shut the door, I locked it, I got out of the shower, I started taking a shower. The kids start beating on the door. My wife's like, what are you doing taking a shower? These kids are starving. We got to get them to dinner. There's a point to this story, and the point is pretty clear and simple. Here's what it is. Because Holiday Inn Express took the time to point at their shower head, not just in their advertising, but on the counter, next to the check-in, next to the television on the dresser when we did get to the room, on the counter in the bathroom, and then hanging from the dadgum shower head itself. Because they bothered to point at that shower head. Now, let's define. This shower head was good. It looked cool. It worked well. And I'm here to tell you, it's a really nice shower. Because they bothered to point at the shower head, look at this definition on your screen. People look for evidence to support what they already believe and ignore or minimize evidence that goes against their beliefs. I started to believe that this shower head was great. And you know what? It was great. Now, here's what I'm encouraging you to do, and this is the point of this entire webinar and this entire concept called identity. You've got to find in your business what your shower head is, and obviously, clearly, that's metaphorical. I'm not talking about a literal shower head. What is it that you do that's awesome, that's good, that you can point at repeatedly, so that people see it, they understand it, they look at it, they like it, they believe it, and they start to believe that this is awesome because you've taken the time to point at it. That's what we've got to do. Confirmation bias will be your best friend if you utilize the tools to point at the shower head so that people know what to look for. Because here's the thing, I'm going to promise you this, 100% guarantee. If you fail to point at your various shower heads, people will not notice them, they will not give you credit for them, and they will not like whatever it is that you happen to do that's really good. It'll be a chance. They might notice it, they might not. Think about all the times you stayed at a hotel. Did you notice the shower head? The answer is you usually don't unless it's particularly bad. If the shower head is bad, if it's crusty, if it's got calcification all over it, if it has no water pressure, if it's dinky, if it's only 3 feet off the ground, then you notice it. Otherwise, it just blurs into the background. And guess what? All the stuff that you do that's good, all the stuff that makes you special, all the stuff that your customers love, if you don't point at it specifically with power, passion, and precision, people will not notice it, and it will absolutely fade into the background, and you will lose, okay? Let me give you a case study, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to give you a formula for how to do it, okay? The case study is a remodeling company. Sat down with the owner of this company. The guy's name was Don Isaacson, and he has a wife that runs a company with him named Lori. Don and Lori Isaacson. They're out of Portland, Oregon. They're a remodeling company, okay? And you know this kind of guy that I'm talking about. He's been in business for 25 years. He's really, really good at what he does. His customers love him. He really does a fantastic job. He's a little bit on the expensive end. In fact, he's quite a bit on the expensive end. He goes after a certain kind of customer, and they just love this dude. He gets a ton of referrals. You know the kind of guy I'm talking about, right? And here's why. He's got a fanatical need to get things done right for his clients. He's basically OCD. He sweats every single little detail like it's crazy, okay? This guy will not let anything pass without, massive inspection. He won't let anything that's not to his exacting standards to pass. So here's the premise for this, guys. Identity. I'm a remodeler with exacting standards who will do everything right. That's what we're going to work off of as a basis. Now, what we don't want to do is just go in and say, I'm a remodeler with exacting standards who will do everything right. It's not believable. Remember, power, precision, passion. So what I did is the same thing that we do with all of our clients. We sat them down and we did what's called an identity consultation. It was over the phone. They're in Oregon. We're in Dallas. We're going to see face-to-face to do this. And I said, tell me what makes you different and better. Well, high quality. Well, what do you mean high quality? Well, we do everything right. Well, what do you mean you do everything right? Well, we, have high standards. Okay, we're kind of going in circles here. Give me some examples. Give me an example of a time when you had really high standards. And then Lori, Don's wife, chimed in, and she started giving me all kinds of interesting information. She says, well, This guy is almost OCD. He gives out his cell phone number to every single client, and it creates havoc in our family. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, if anything is not exactly 100,000,000,000% right, she tells people to call, and they call. I said, well, give me an example. She goes, oh, my gosh, try having dinner with this guy. It's a disaster. He gets up and leaves in the middle of dinner like 2-3 times a week because that stupid cell phone's ringing. Really? Interesting. Oh, yeah, well, that's nothing, man. He'll get up in the middle of the night. Sometimes people will call. Really? Who calls in the middle of the night? Does that happen very often? Well, no, it doesn't happen all that often, but it's happened. This guy's gotten up at 2 in the morning and gone off to the job site to look at stuff. Really? Oh, gee, that's nothing. You think that's something? We've come home early from vacation because of this guy. Well, what do you mean you come home early from vacation? Well, we had a job and there was a problem, and the guy on site called, and Don said, hey, we've got to handle this, and it had to be handled by him specifically, so we left our vacation. It was a 1-week vacation. We left 3 days early. We drove home, and I'm still a little bitter about that. And I thought, geez, you guys might need some marriage counseling, not marketing help. She said, no, it's great. It's what I signed up for, and it's what makes Don awesome at what he does, and it's what makes us a living. And his customers, they just love him, really. So he's really particular. Oh, my gosh. She told me stories about driving to different states to find just the right pull knob for kitchen cabinets, and the time when the floor wasn't stained exactly the right color, and the customer said she was happy, but she hesitated when she said it, so Don took a crowbar and started prying the floor up to show that he was disgusted with the very minor detail of the floor not being exactly the right color. And this is the kind of guy that Don is. Now, let's pause for just a minute here. I want to ask you a question, because you might be thinking, well, who cares? I didn't come to this webinar to hear some story about some guy in Oregon. But I want to ask you this. Based on the stories that I've just told you about Don Isaacson, do you kind of get a little bit of a feel for who he is? And if you were a customer that wanted your kitchen or bathroom remodeled, what you could expect when doing business with him? Are you kind of getting a little bit of a feel? And the answer is, yeah, you are, because the details, the power, the precision, and the passion comes out in the details. So let me show you what this looks like, okay? First of all, let me show you his old website. This was his website when I first met him. And you see there's this picture, and he's smiling. He's happy to see you. Welcome to Revive's website for information on your next home improvement remodeling project. If you kind of scan down there, it says the last paragraph, our team of dedicated professionals and craftsmen are committed to the quality and service you deserve, whatever that means. We strive to make your remodeling experience not just satisfactory, but to exceed your expectations. Again, it's Charlie Brown's mother. I said, Don, this is not representative of who you really are. So we rewrote his website, and it looked like this. Persnickety, demanding, hard to please, picky, then I'm the remodeler for you. I'm not the fastest. I am not the cheapest. I am, however, according to my customers, the best. In remodeling, it's all about the details, and I'm obsessed with them. Why? Because I'd rather do things right rather than right now. It takes time to do things properly, and I refuse to compromise quality for speed. I'm not the fastest, and I'm not the cheapest contractor around, but according to my customers, I exceed their expectations with the final result. And then you see on the right-hand side in the middle, my cell phone number is, feel free to interrupt my dinner, wake me up at 2 a.m., make me leave home early from vacation. My only concern is that your job is 100% perfect. Now, I would ask you, if you were an unindoctrinated person who never heard of this guy and you found this website, does it communicate with words, images, and phrases? You know what? I found a stock photo of a guy making this face that you see on the screen right now, and I sent it to Don. I said, go hire a photographer off Craigslist. It'll cost you $100. Make sure you don't get killed, because there's guys on Craigslist that'll kill you, but get one that won't kill you. And have him take 100 photos of your face trying to make this face, and then send them all to me, and we'll make sure that we get the right one. And this is what we came up with. What does that face communicate? Does it say, hello, hi there, I'm so happy to see you? No. It says, I'm serious. If you're persnickety, demanding, and hard to please, that I'm the guy that's going to get the job done right. Power, precision, and passion. Does this communicate with power, precision, and passion who he is, what he does, how he's different, how he's better, and most importantly, what you can expect when doing business with him? And the answer is not maybe. It's yes. Then we take this identity, we put it into advertisements. Are you anxious to get the job done? Or are you anxious to get the job done right? We take a little longer. We cost a little more, but wait till you see the final product. I could honestly care less if you have a list of 3 remodelers who are cheaper than me, says Don Isaacson. Home show, persnickety, demanding, hard to please, then I'm the remodeler for you. Now, granted, this might be a little unnerving to stand in front of a picture of your face 8 feet tall at the home show. Please do not take out of this that your identity must include a picture of your face 8 feet tall. Out of all the identities that we put together for all of our clients, I would say probably roughly about a 25%, maybe a third, feature a person in their face and their picture. The other 2/3 don't. It's just not appropriate. Every company's identity is like a fingerprint. It's unique to that specific company, okay? This is what is this thing? This is a flyer that we hand out at home shows. These are on the right hand, that's on the left. On the right hand side, these are banners. They're pop-up banners that you would see at a home show. Ruin my vacation, interrupt my dinner, wake me up at 2 a.m. Postcards that we send out. I shut down the job site in disgust, ripped out the floor, and started over again from scratch. Me and not done exactly right don't get along very well. If I have to choose between profit and perfection, I'll choose perfection every single time. This is an email that we send out to confirm appointments. Most remodelers hate dealing with high-maintenance customers who complain about wanting every little thing a certain way. Those are the only kind I get along with. And then it goes on to explain because he's got higher standards than anybody. So we take your identity, we put it into your postcards, into your flyers, into your home show, into your website, into your advertisements, everything. It's the hub of your entire marketing campaign. If you have no identity, then you don't have a marketing campaign that's going to work the way it should. Now, some people say to me, well, we do all those things. We're just like him. Yeah, but if you don't communicate it, see, people only have to go on what you show them. And if you don't communicate it right, then you lose, okay? It's all about communication. It's not about doing things well. That just goes without saying. You got to do things well. We've got to figure out what those things are, like your shower head, so we can then point at them. So here's what happened. This is a testimonial from Don Isaacson. We just landed our biggest remodeling job ever, $200,000. Not exactly common these days with a couple who lives out of state who are moving here this summer. We got the job because of the new website. Clients loved it, obviously read it all. They called all of our references. They referred to the gallery and pictures saying they wanted those features and materials in their project. So thank you, MYM, for creating such a powerful tool to help us set apart. And, we had our cartoonist draw this picture of Don getting a big bag of money through his website. That's what happens when you have identity, okay? Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to hear from some of our sponsors. Our sponsors. I can't talk anymore. Man, I've been going at it hard, so we're going to take a little break. We're going to hear from a couple of sponsors, then we're going to do a book giveaway, and after the book giveaway, I'm going to take a little poll, okay? Then we're going to get to the second half of this webinar where we're going to talk about how to create an identity. Then I'll show you a few more examples, and then we'll wrap up, okay? So first of all, Bath Wraps by Liners Direct. And Dave Wilson from Liners Direct could not be with us on the webinar today. I did want to just take a minute and let you know a couple things. First of all, you know about bath wraps and these kinds of products, but I want you to know something about this. If you're interested in these types of products, there's product differentiation, and Dave could tell you about that. If you go to linersdirect.com, you'll see about that. But here's what I really want you to know about this company. This is a company that makes leads available to their dealers at a ridiculously low cost. It's completely voluntary. You don't have to buy their leads, but their leads, I think, are about $75 or $80, and they'll deliver you a flow of leads, essentially as many as you can stand. So if you're interested in getting into that kind of business, or if you're already in it and you're looking for maybe a different, better product, this is a company that can not only give you a great product, great support, et cetera, but they can deliver leads to you. So if you're interested in that, either call them, go to this website, or again, in just a minute, we're going to take a poll where you can express interest in these various sponsors. The next one is First General, and I've got Michael Flat with me on the line. Let me see if I can get Michael. Michael, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here, Rich.
Hey, Michael. Glad to have you on with me today, and I'm going to let Michael tell you a little bit about First General Services. Go right ahead.
Well, thanks, Rich. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Flatt, and I'm the CEO of First General North America, the property restoration specialists. Our franchise is all about restoring people's homes and businesses after they've been subjected to water, sewage, flood, fire, wind, or impact damage. Unlike home renovations or additions, damaged properties must be quickly repaired by skilled contractors. In your area, insurance companies and their policyholders, as well as the general public, need you. Our business is recession-proof. Homes and businesses in your community are damaged every day, by nature or by accident. Our identity, reputation, and processes are why property owners, property managers, and insurance companies choose us to rebuild their lives. Our methods make you more profitable while finding issues before they hit your bottom line. The money's guaranteed since the insurance company is paying your bill, and we're there with you every step of the way with ongoing training and mentoring. All of you are attending this webinar to discover ways to grow your business profitably and get more jobs in the door. Have any of you ever thought to diversify into a niche that utilizes your skills? If so, then you should consider joining us. Last year, our 80 offices in the United States and Canada completed over $250 million worth of highly profitable restoration. We were in Colorado after the fires and rain, and in New Jersey after Hurricane Sandy, not to mention all our normal day-to-day activities. Join our team and help people in your community in their time of greatest need. Think of the satisfaction you'll gain. For more information on whether First General is the right fit for you, please indicate your interest when Rich asks you to select from which vendors you would like more information. Please note that the website is actually FGSNA, not NSA. Thanks for your attention and enjoy the rest of this webinar.
Okay, thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate that. And Michael's been a sponsor of ours for a little bit over a year now, and we've had some great interest. And I know that we've had several people that have contacted you, and I can't emphasize enough the idea of guaranteed payments in recession-proof. So thanks so much to you, Michael, for being a sponsor and for participating today. We'll talk to you shortly. Okay, now let's go to our final sponsor of the day, which is Market Sharp. And Market Sharp is a company that's been with us now for, like I said earlier, about 9 years. And I've got Tim Mush on the line with me. Tim, are you there? Hello, Tim. Well, Tim, I see you there.
Okay, I think now I'm unmuted, Rich. You hear me?
You are. Yes, I do. Go right ahead, Tim.
All right, well, thanks. And this is really one of my favorite topics that you do, Rich, this whole identity thing, because you're right. It's actually the cornerstone that you build everything else on. So why don't you advance a slide or two, and I just got a couple of thoughts I'd like to share with the group. And when you think about a product like ours at Market Sharp, I think there's a few things that you can bring together with what Rich is talking about here today, because there's plenty of ways you can do what I would call expressing your identity through a properly set up CRM system. And I got 4 things in mind. First off, targeted direct marketing. All sorts of ways you can get marketing messages out to people through a system like Market Sharp. We got a cool thing where you can, do your proximity marketing with postcards, but it's connected with a personally developed website for each job and for each recipient of a postcard, and they go there and they see very specific things. So it's a perfect balance of offline and online marketing, which I personally think is one of the keys to success. And also expressing your identity through your web response. And we get a lot of inquiries by the web. Rich calls it conversionability. And what we got to do is make sure that we have assistance in this web response stuff. So when you get an inquiry in there, you can get to them like right now, because statistics point out that if you don't have some sort of communication back to these folks within 5 minutes or less, your chances of really converting that really take a nosedive. And thirdly, we got lead nurturing, and Rich talks about this a lot when he's talking about things like wall drug and these unsold leads that we get that don't necessarily turn into sales. Have an automated cruise control program that can really, really stay in touch with these folks over time, and you'll really harvest a real gold mine of business that you invested heavily in when you generated the first lead. But now, why not take it through till the end when they finally get around to pulling the trigger? And finally, expressing your identity. Client feedback. It's going to be a huge thing in online reputation. And a product like ours, Market Sharp, really helps along those lines. In fact, we got a direct integration with our good friends at Guild Quality, also a sponsor of this event. So those 2 products working together can just do a ton of stuff for you. So how about advancing the slides, Rich, and I'll wrap up here in just a second. So let's go beyond this, and these are just some slides that are kind of depicting what I talked about. So keep going until I tell you to stop. And this is a slide that's showing you the web response and so forth and so on. So keep going. And I just want to get to a slide where we pretty much make the declaration that there's really an app for all this stuff. And we think that that app is MarketSharp. And plenty of you on this call do have MarketSharp or using it in your business. We'd like to give the others an opportunity to learn more about it. So if you want to go to the next slide, Rich, I can kind of wrap up here. And MarketSharp is really something that helps you generate more leads, manage and track your leads, and also manage your customers, kind of everything we do. So final slide, click one more time, Rich, and we'll talk about some of the features. There's schedulers, calendars built in here. There's hundreds of built-in marketing elements and campaigns and email templates and all kinds of stuff. So if you haven't taken a look at this solution, you might want to. We have about 42% of qualified remodelers, top 500 that use us. So that's a pretty good indication that it must be pretty useful for successful companies. So if you'd like to learn more, let us know. We do have some promotional stuff going on. In fact, you can get 2 months free right now until the end of the month. So visit us at marketsharp.com or give us a call at 800-335-4254. You can just press extension 1 to get right to our sales staff, and they'll go ahead and set a time where you can learn more about what MarketSharp can do for your business. So that said, Rich, how about we learn a little bit more about how to create that special identity for everybody on the call here?
Okay, hey, thanks, Tim, and I want to thank you for being a sponsor, not just on this particular webinar, but for the last 9 years. It's been a good relationship, and yeah, you're right. A lot of our customers are also MarketSharp, and they swear by it. I mean, you couldn't tear it away from the, it would be the proverbial cold, dead hand. They just wouldn't get rid of it. It's just too integral to their business. So look into that, folks. I'm going to do a poll here right now, and this is the poll that I've been alluding to. So let me go ahead and put this on your screen real quick. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to launch this poll. If you do me a favor and just, you can click as many of these as you're interested in. We've got 5 options: Guild Quality, MarketSharp, First General Services, Bath Wraps by Liner Direct, Gutter Covers. And I'll give you just a minute here to go ahead and choose which one you're interested in. And, oh, come on, guys. There we go. That's more like it. Come on, vote, vote, vote. I never stop until we get to 50% of the people have voted, and we're currently only at 25%. All right, good, good. Oh, yes, looking good. Come on. Now, what's going to happen here is when you click on this, then we send a list, of course, at the end of the webinar to these sponsors, and then they'll have the opportunity to reach out to you and give you more information. Okay, I just need a couple more people. I'll give you 10 more seconds. 9, 8, we're getting real close. 47, 48%, 5 seconds, 49%. Okay, and we'll close the poll. Okay, thank you for that. And we're also going to do a book giveaway right now. So let me go to my list of attendees. Now, we're going to do the giveaway on the CD set at the end, but we're going to do books right now. So here's the people we're going to give away to, and this is completely at random. The first one is Carrie Stock. Carrie Stock, you're a winner of an MYM book. We'll send that out to you via UPS. Whoa, what's not what we meant to do? Come on. Okay, the other winner is going to be, let's see, Elizabeth Jennings. Elizabeth Jennings. So, Brian, I know you're on this webinar. Will you please make a note of those two, Elizabeth Jennings and Carrie Stock? Okay. So let's, I don't know what happened to our presentation, but let's get back over to that. Okay, sorry about that. We've kind of lost it here. But what we're going to talk about now is how to actually make this work, okay? So let's make this work. Let's go to the definition of identity so that you can review this quickly, and then we're going to go through a quick 3-step process. And let me just make sure that all my technical P's and Q's are in a row. They are, okay. So words, phrases, and images articulated with power, precision, and passion instantly, definitively communicate who you are, how you're different and better, what customers can expect when doing business with you. So we're going to go through the 3 steps, then I'm going to show you a few more examples, and then we'll wrap it on up here, okay? So first of all, how to create a powerful identity. Step number 1, simply you've got to look at what makes your company tick. And here's some questions to get you started. What do you already do that customers like? What do you take particular pride in? What makes you better and different than most of your competitors? What are you really, really good at? What do you really want written on your tombstone? We're not trying to kill you off, but a tombstone is a place, by definition, has very little room, so you have to write something that's tremendously profound. What would we write about your company if we were trying to, summarize it in a very short amount of time? What are you absolutely unwilling to fudge on? Okay, this is where we start. And as we go through the identity consultation with our clients, it takes about an hour and a half to really go through it and beat it out of you, because you're so used to communicating in platitudes that we have to really ask a ton of questions. It's like one of those movies where they take the hot spotlight and they put it on the guy in the interrogation room at the police station and they start asking him all these questions. That's kind of what we do, except for there's no lights and it's done via telephone, and we're polite about it. But we do have to beat that information out of you sometimes. So that's step one. What makes you tick? Step number two, build a case. Build a case. Imagine you were being put on trial and you had to prove that you were blank. Now, here's what goes in the blank. Whatever your shower head is, whatever you want to point at. Imagine Holiday Inn Express was being put on trial and they had to prove that they had the best shower head. Could they do it? Imagine that Don Isaacson at Revive Remodeling was being put on trial and he had to prove that he was the persnickety remodeler. Could he do it? What evidence could you produce to prove it? What stories can you tell to back it up? Can you provide witnesses? You have to be as specific as possible, no platitudes. I mean, think about a court case. You can't walk into a court case and say, well, Your Honor, I know that the witnesses put me at the scene of the crime, but, I wasn't there. I was somewhere else. Well, where were you? I was some other place. Well, where? I was at a friend's house. Well, whose house? It was a friend. You can't be general. You got to be extraordinarily specific. So that's what we want to do, is we want to find out what makes you tick. That's the shower head that we point at, and then we want to build a case to prove it. Then we want to communicate it with power, precision, and passion, okay? And this is really, really key, okay? When you speak with power, people believe you're powerful. When you speak with power, people are drawn to you. When you speak with power, your character and your competency are not questioned. When you speak with power, you stand out from the crowd. When I do live seminars, I show that example with Don Isaacson, the remodeler, and I'll show that ad that says, I could honestly care less if you have a list of 3 remodelers who are cheaper than me. And the response is visceral and palpable. People sort of cringe, and then they laugh, a nervous laughter, and they say, wow, that guy really ran that ad? And I say, yeah, because that's really how he feels. And when he says, if it comes between profit and perfection, I'll choose perfection every single time, it's so powerful that people can feel it. And we've got to communicate. When you communicate like that, you stand out from the crowd, because you know what? Nobody else is talking like that. Here's some principles of power talk. I won't go into this in detail, but just to give you a brief overview, you have to be specific, okay? Use absolutes. Always, never, exactly, insist. Here's 2 ways to say something. One way is to say, we do the job right the first time. Here's another way to say the exact same thing. We always insist every job is done exactly right the first time, period. Look at all the absolutes. We always insist every job is done exactly right. It's just a more powerful way to say the same thing. Tell the story if it's appropriate, when it's appropriate. Have a strong opinion. Tell it like it is. Don't mince words. Tell people how it is. They are looking to you for advice and assistance because they don't know. If you mince words, if you use platitudes, you become not powerful. It doesn't work, okay? Use plain English. Don't use inside words that nobody else understands what they mean. Use plain English. Elevate your attitude a little bit. Become the consumer's advocate. Give genuine advice, not bullcrap advice, not self-serving advice, but genuine advice. Confidence isn't cocky. It's matter of fact. It's telling it like it is. And then you find and use what we call juicy words, power words. Now, I'm not going to go into detail, explain how to do that, but this is the formula. What makes you tick? Build a case. Communicate with power, precision, and passion. Let me show you a couple of examples. I showed you one already. I'm going to show you about 5 more, and then we'll wrap it up here. So this is a company called BH Design and Build, and they wanted people to know with their website that they created beautiful kitchens in this case. And I looked at them and I said, this is great, but you know what? A couple of things. Number one, anybody could put a beautiful picture of a beautiful kitchen on their website. And number 2, you don't communicate anything other than we do beautiful work, which is good. That's a good thing to communicate. Don't get me wrong. I said, what really sets you apart? And they said, well, it's our design-build process. And I said, you know what? Nobody knows what design-build means. Oh, yeah, everybody knows what design-build means. No, they don't. well, our customers are higher end. They're rich people that have lots of money, so they know what design build means. I said, no, they don't. You know what design build means because your whole entire livelihood depends on being a design build company that knows exactly what that means. But people don't know what it means. They can't take that and differentiate it from other kinds of options. So let's take and communicate. So I convinced them, take this beautiful picture, let it come on the website, and then after about 3 or 4 seconds, put a text box. They can click to eliminate it if they don't want to see it, but it looks like this. And we communicate something in addition to just having a beautiful picture. Okay? And here's what it says. Our unique under one roof design plus build process makes remodeling an efficient, easy, and pleasant experience. When the design and construction are both handled by one firm, all of the process waste, pricing ambiguity, communication gaps, finger pointing, construction delays, cost overruns, and unpleasant surprises just go away. Now, guess what? That summarizes in a very, very short amount of time, precise, passionate, powerful, exactly what design build is. And then there's some text, and people say, well, nobody's going to read all that text. It's not true. People read all the text all the time if they perceive that it's got useful information that will help facilitate their making the best decision possible. Here's a company called Freelight. It's owned by a guy named Chip Marvin. I talked to him and I said, Chip, what makes you guys great? And as I was talking to Chip, I got the distinct feeling that this was a guy that was a hippie left over from the 60s and 70s. Guy was super laid back, super nice guy, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, but just a real easy sense of being and just really easy to talk to. And he said, hey, man, you know, we're just easy to do business with. We don't do any high-pressure sales. We don't force people. You know, it's just not our style. So we looked at his website, and he said, look, I don't want to change the way my website looks because we spent a lot of time, effort, and money to build this look. I said, are you open to integrating an identity? He said, yeah. So I want you to see. This is the before. I'm going to show you the after, and the after is going to look almost exactly the same, but it's going to have the identity integrated. Here it is. Okay, look, before, after. The after looks about the same, but let's read down here what it says. I'm going to blow it up so you can see it. Introducing the easy, no hassle, no pressure way to buy windows and skylights in Phoenix. We find out what you want, make recommendations, then step back and let you decide. After 30 years in this business, we've learned a few things about what people like and don't like about buying windows, doors, and skylights. High pressure and long drawn-out sales pitches are out. An open and honest discussion about what you want and need is in. That's why we've adopted the free and easy approach to selling windows. We conduct a quick needs analysis, show you the product or products that would be the best fit, give you an easy quote, then we step back and let you make a decision. We'll be honored to add you to our list of 20,000 happy customers. But if, for whatever reason, you decide to wait or buy from someone else, that's okay too. Our only concern is that you get the right product at the right price with no hassles. Boom. Identity. Score one MYM. Renewal by Anderson, affiliate in the Dallas market. Window replacement in Dallas-Fort Worth. In Farmers Branch, Texas, window replacement services by Renewal by Anderson can be a great investment for any house. Are your windows worn, old, or dated? Are they cracked or damaged? This is not an identity. This is just a description of problems that people have, and they know they have those problems. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on this website looking. Okay? You see how this works? There's nothing that sets this company apart, nothing that is distinctive, nothing that helps you understand how and why. As I discussed it with Renewal by Anderson, I found out that their windows were quite impressive. Here's what we came up with. Now, at the top of this is a slider. That means that it slides and another picture with another headline comes on it. But this one says maintenance free. Our super strong Fibrex windows never warp, never peel, and never need painting. And then below that, this is what we call the static part of the website. And the static part of the website says most window companies claim they've got the best windows. We unapologetically claim to offer the world's only perfect window. We've taken all the best parts from all the top windows, eliminated everything that isn't 1,000% optimal, and engineered the only window that promises and delivers perfection. The beauty and strength of wood without the high maintenance, the low maintenance of vinyl without the warping and color limitations, the strength of fiberglass that can be made in any shape, even colors. Now, there's a lot of things going on here that are very, very strong and powerful. The words, the ideas, the concepts. There's also something called a headline funnel that guides the eyeball from where we want it to go broad to more narrow, gives all the information. At the right-hand side, it says dare to compare, and it gives the different points that we want to talk about in terms of more efficient, longest lasting, etc. Okay? So this is fantastic. Here's a company called Good Guy Construction. They've got a very typical looking website. It's got a picture of, you know, the various things they do. This is a slider, so it says covered porches, and the next one maybe says kitchens, etc. Good Guy Construction. Welcome. Good Guy Construction has been in Lincoln since 1992, a remodeling company offering design and building services for both residential and commercial clients, blah, 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 blah. Charlie Brown's mother, wah, wah, wah. This doesn't say anything. Who are you? How are you different? How are you better? Why should I do business with you? What can I expect when I do business with you? And as I talked to the owner, Scott Good, I found out that they do things in a tremendously different way. Let's take a look. At the top, home of the no games, no gimmicks, no gotchas, price quote guarantee. All inclusive. Our bids include everything. No gotchas after we get started. That again is a slider. It will slide 4 times to different headlines and photos. Below that, Good Guys Construction isn't just a name. It's who we are, how we think, what we do, and an ironclad promise that you'll be treated right. No games, no gimmicks, no gotchas. We refuse to compromise quality or ethics to land a job or pad our profits. We offer fair, honest prices on premium caliber interior and exterior remodeling. And then in the middle it says what to expect from Good Guys, and it gives more information. Guys, let me tell you something. This is power. This is precision. This is passion. This is identity. Okay? Now, I showed you this earlier. This is our last example before we wrap up. Now, remember, stay with me. I'm going to give you a special offer. If you're interested in doing business with MYM, we can help you create an identity. I'm also going to give away the book at the end, and there's one more poll. So stay with me for just a few more minutes, but this is the last case study. This is the company that I showed you earlier. No identity in this home show presentation at all. Now, the company is called Lone Star Property Solutions, and I sat down with the owner. Her name is Kathy Fleck, super, super nice lady, and I found out very quickly that her whole deal is that she is first and foremost a designer. So she's all about design, things looking fantastic, and she has this uncanny ability to reach into somebody's brain and to pull out what it is they're looking for, give them a bunch of ideas, and help them to create exactly what they had in mind. It's really special, this ability that she has to get people what they want and to take the picture in their brain and to create it in reality. Well, if you look at her home show booth, it's a disaster. I mean, it looks like a third-grade science project gone bad. It's terrible. This is not an accurate representation of who this company is and what you can expect. This was their trifold brochure that they used to use. Now, on the right-hand side, the picture of the guy smiling, that's the first panel of this brochure that you would see. Okay? It says, from complete remodels to special projects and handyman jobs, we've got you covered. And as you open it up, it's got our mission. We're convenient, timely communication, reliable, thorough, guarantee, and it all just sounds so expected. It's a bunch of platitudes. And then there's a few testimonials on the back. This is the inside of the trifold brochure. It's got a big, beautiful picture, but it's got these little pictures down here that people have to sort of interpret what they are, and then a list of things that they do. Okay? Well, I talked to her. We went through the identity consultation, and here's what we came up with. This is the revised website. Most remodelers are order takers. They say, tell me what you want and I'll make it happen. I'll guide you through an exhilarating brainstorming session where I'll pick your brain, throw out tons of ideas, show you dozens of materials, and help you discover what you really want. From the first meeting to the final walkthrough, my main concern is that you'll love the end result. And then it says in the text, if you're like many of my clients, this may be the first time you've ever tackled a significant remodeling project. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, that's true. Maybe you're second. Suffice it to say, you're going to need guidance in putting the project together, pulling the project together. So when you sit down with a remodeler who asks you what you want, it's not necessarily easy to say. Sure, you've looked at magazines for ideas, surfed the web, and kept your eyes open while shopping at Lowe's. But how can you really know if you even know what's available? And chances are the typical remodeler won't be much help. What you need is a professional remodeler with design expertise and a woman's touch to guide you through the process, a woman who's designed to remodel hundreds of homes over the years, from two-bedroom cottages to high-end homes and everything in between, and it goes on. It explains who she is, what you can expect when doing business with her, how she's different. Do you see how this works? It's not that difficult in concept. Now, actually doing it, it's a little bit harder to pull off. We rewrote the brochure. On the right-hand side, it now says, remodeling that makes you say, wow. We'll pick your brain, infuse it with ideas, and help you discover exactly what you want. The Lone Star advantages, talk to the owner, fixed prices, change orders, easy financing, OCD when it comes to detail. The list of things is on the back of the brochure, but now when you open it up, here's what you see. From the first meeting to the final walkthrough, my main concern is that you'll love the end result. We specialize in even better than I imagined, and it has the same kind of text that was on the website. See how it maintains the same look and feel as the original brochure? but now it has identity. You can create a brochure. Anybody can create a brochure, but can you create one that will convert lookers into buyers? And then we put it into their home show stuff, remodeling. We'll pick your brain, infuse it with ideas, help you discover exactly what you want. We specialize in even better than I imagined. On the left-hand side, let us help you unleash your inner design genius. Most remodelers are order takers. We are dream makers. It communicates with power. It communicates with precision. It communicates with passion. This is the identity, okay? Are we on the same page here? We put it into this huge flyer that we hand out at home shows, and it's got the same kind of thing. I won't go into detail about what this is, but suffice it to say, it's very similar. We put together a gift card that they use for discounts to help people get a better deal. You know, it's just a different version of giving a discount. Let us help you unleash your inner design genius. These things all work together in concert. Everything's branded. Everything's got identity. It all works fabulously, okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to announce the winner in just a minute, so stick around. You might have a chance to win. But meanwhile, let me tell you how you can do business with Monopolize Your Marketplace, how we can help you actually get this identity stuff into your business, okay? So first of all, we have a foundational marketing that you have to have in order to operate. Everything starts with the identity. Everything starts with the identity. That probably shouldn't be much of a shock to you after today's webinar. Creating a professional identity-based website, then creating a professional identity-based website that converts prospects into customers. So we take the identity. The very first thing we've got to do is put it into your website. The reason is that all marketing leads to the website. All customers come through the website. It's the most critical place to put it. Then driving traffic to that site via organic and paid search and using mailing and advertising to grow from there, whether it be home shows or newspaper, radio, TV, whatever kind of advertising, mailers. Then we drive traffic to the website, we drive traffic to you, and it's all identity-based, okay? All of this is available for a low monthly payment. It's about $500 a month, okay, just to kind of give you an idea. We have a bundle called the Monopolize Bundle. We've taken all of our services that are the most critical, we've put them into a bundle, and we've made it available at a very attractive price. So in the Monopolize Bundle, we create the identity. We write all the content for your website, up to 25 pages, which is enough for most of our clients. We professionally build the website so that it looks beautiful and it looks outstanding. We'll do all of your SEO. We'll set it up. We'll do the monthly maintenance for 2 years. And if you're saying to yourself, well, we already have somebody that does our SEO, let me ask you this. Is the company that does your SEO, are they a marketing company that understands remodeling? Because if they're not, there's challenges and issues there, okay? There's going to be conversionability issues. We'll create a mobile version of your website. We'll do unlimited updates of your website for 2 years. We'll manage your pay-per-click marketing. And some of you are saying, well, we've tried pay-per-click and it doesn't work. Let me suggest to you that the reason your pay-per-click doesn't work is because your website is not converting like it should, primarily because of lack of identity, okay? We'll put together pre-positioning materials, emails, brochures, contractor standards guide. Ongoing webinar training is also available in the Monopolize Bundle, 5 webinars per month. The value of the bundle is $51,000, but we'll do it for a lot less than that, okay? So you can replace everything. It costs $2,999 down, $499 a month. Ask yourself these questions. How clear is your identity in your current marketing right now? How many web-based leads are you generating a month? How much are you spending on stuff that doesn't work? How many how many deals per month would you need for this to be a good investment? $499 a month. The answer is it's ridiculous. It's insanely inexpensive. And let me tell you something, that's why we've priced it this way. 2 years ago when we started offering marketing fulfillment services to remodelers, the number one thing that we sat down as a team and decided to do is it has to be affordable. If it's not affordable, most of the marketplace will miss because you can't afford, most of you, $17,000 cash out of pocket. And here's the true facts. We lose money on this for about the first 8 to 10 months. And then over the course of the rest of the agreement, that's when we actually break even and then make money. But we do this because we know that it's the way that you can actually afford it, okay? We also have a kitchen sink bundle that includes all the Monopolize Bundle items that I just talked about: identity, website, web content, web updates, mobile website, SEO. But it also includes extra website pages, online reviews for up to 2 years, home show package. We'll put that all together for the home show like you saw for Lone Star. Proximity marketing package, past prospect hopper. This is stuff that Tim had talked about reaching out to your past customers, reaching out to your past prospects, okay? New movers package, radio advertising, ad writing, anything that you need is included in the kitchen sink bundle. We'll also create a logo if you need that. All of this is available for $3,999 down and $1,199 a month, okay? So here's what you need to do. Go to our website at mymonline.com. You can click on the Remodeler tab that's on the right-hand side and then choose Bonus Bundles. You will come to this page, and you will see at the bottom of the page the Monopolized Bundle and the Kitchen Sink Bundle. You can see exactly what's included. You can see exactly what the value is. You can see exactly how much it costs, okay? Go to mymonline.com/bonus, and you'll find this page. Now, there's a special offer that we'll make to you today. Here's what it is. We'll give you a $1,000 cash discount off of either bundle. So instead of the down payment being $2,999 for the Monopolized Bundle, it's only $1,999. That's a real cash discount of $1,000. That's a webinar special only. On the Monopolized Bundle, we'll also give you $4,000 of bonus cash that you can use towards any fulfillment packages. So if you want the home show package, if you want the radio package, if you want any of those other packages, you can use that bonus cash to purchase those, okay? If you buy the kitchen sink bundle, we'll give you $100 off per month on the monthly payment. Now, we can't give you extra bonus cash in the kitchen sink bundle because it already includes everything that we sell. So we'll give you a discount on the monthly payment. Now, the monthly payment is not discounted on the Monopolized Bundle. It's still $4.99 a month, okay? So here's what you need to do. If you're interested in the webinar special, please do this. Email me in the next 10 minutes. Email me personally at my personal email address, which is richharshaw@gmail.com. Now, I've had people in the past that have said, oh, well, don't you have a real email address? I do. It's harder for people to remember. This one's a little easier to remember. richharshaw@gmail.com. In the subject line, put bonus bundle. Include your name, your website, and your cell number. And we'll get in touch with you today. We'll set an appointment to talk to you tomorrow or Friday. And to receive these discounts and these bonuses, you have to buy the bonus bundle by Friday. But if you're interested in talking about that, please do me a favor and send the email to me, richharshaw@gmail.com. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is two things. Number one, I'm going to do our second poll. So here we go with that. The second poll is, what is your interest in Monopolize Your Marketplace? And there's two choices. If you're interested in the bonus bundles, you can go ahead and click that. If you'd like to have an identity consultation, you can choose that. You can choose either or both or all or whatever. So go ahead and vote on that for just a second. And I'll give you just a minute to do that. And meanwhile, I will give away the second set of prizes, which is the 10 CD set for remodelers, the Remodeling Contractor Marketing Bootcamp. And let's see who's going to win that bad boy. Okay, let's see here. Okay, that is going to be James O'Hannon. James O'Hannon, you are the winner of the Remodeling Contractor Marketing Bootcamp. Let me make a note. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. Thank you so much for that. And I will now shift to the question and answer. I will answer questions about identity. I'll answer questions about our offer. I'll answer questions about our sponsors. And all you need to do is fill out, is to go to the console and go to the questions and ask any question you want. So I'll stand by for that right now. And let's see what we've got. Okay, the first question was, are you assuming that the first 4 people who got an idea and searched already before seeing the ad and not even responded to the ad? And the answer is yes. That is what I'm saying, exactly. Okay. Okay. In a growing and changing business, how do you choose a differentiator and build a message around? The answer is we go through what we call an identity consultation. And what we do is we literally sit down with you and ask you in detail what makes you different and better, and we elicit it out of you, and we ask you for details, and we have you give us examples. And then what we do is we read it back to you, and we say, here's what we're thinking should be your identity. And we bounce it off of you to see if it rings true and it resonates with you. And sometimes it takes a couple of rounds of going back and forth, but it's really just a process of us finding out what you're all about, what makes you tick, and then we help you build the case. Okay? Is it possible to get a recording of this? Yes, it'll be posted no later than Friday, maybe as soon as tomorrow. Do we do social media? Is that part of our search engine optimization? Yes, we do social media. We'll set up your Facebook. We'll get involved in the posting. We'll do blog postings. That's all part of the Monopolize package. Next, do you specialize in designers that aren't contractors? I'm a designer that primarily designs, remodels, kitchens, baths, interior remodels. Yes, we can absolutely work with that. Linda, thank you for that question. What you'll need to do is just reach out to us and let us know that you'd like to talk to us, and we can absolutely positively work with that. We work with really anything in the construction trades, okay, and we've done work with design. It's not the most common thing we do. I don't want to lead you on and think, hey, we do this all the time, but absolutely it's something that we can do, we have done, and we'd be happy to talk to you about. Next, what are the charges for the identity consultation? BJ Earl asked, and the answer is there's no charge for that. We'd be happy to do that for you for free. Not a problem at all. Next, do you design wraps for trucks? Absolutely. That is something that we have done and will do and continue to do. And again, we want it to be identity-based. We don't want to just wrap it so it looks cool. We want it to look cool and have identity. How long does it take to get a site up and going if you go on board with Monopolize Your Marketplace today? Answer is it's generally about a 4 to 5 month process. The identity process for us to go through, to gather the information, to write it, to give it to you, to review it with you, to put it into a mock-up of a homepage for your website, generally is about a 3 to 4 week process. After that, we go into heavy-duty content writing. That requires you to review it. There's a back and forth process. Once it's been approved by you, then it goes into design, and that's about a 1 to 2 month process depending on the situation. So all things considered, it's about a 4 to 5 month process. Okay, next question. Anyone? Usually I have more questions than this. I must have done such a great job of answering all the questions that I don't really have any more. Okay, Paul says, can you work with our existing CMS, or do we need to convert over to yours? No, you do not have to work with any particular CMS to work with us. We're not CMS specific. Now, we do recommend Market Sharp. It's our favorite one. A lot of our customers use it, but it's not a requirement. The things that we do are not CMS dependent. We're going to create a website that is outside of your CMS. We're going to create marketing pieces that can be used and sent within your CMS, but no, it's not dependent on that. So, Paul, hopefully that helps you out in that question. Next question, please. Anyone? That's it. Okay. Next question says, can you work with HubSpot? Now, Janice, let me tell you something. We have worked with HubSpot in the past, and I'm going to be really upfront and honest with you. It has been an absolute pain in the butt. There's a lot of things that make HubSpot really good. There's a lot of things that make HubSpot extraordinarily difficult to deal with. It is like, well, I won't even go into the details of what, but I would recommend that if that's your situation, talk to us about it. Let us find out what your situation is. Let us take a closer look at it. And then if we can work within that, we'll let you know. If we can't, then we'll give you some alternatives, and then, of course, you can decide if that's a good alternative for you or not. Okay, now the questions are coming. Who would own the website? You always own your website with us. We're not one of those companies that hoards up your website and takes the passwords and makes you pay us bazillions of dollars and extorts you. We hate those companies. They drive us insane. Our only agreement with you is that you pay in full for your website because we do allow you to pay it on a monthly payment. Once it's paid in full, then we restore that information over to you, and it's your website. You can do whatever the heck you want with it. No, we are not one of those blackmailing website companies. Next. Will you marry me? Yes, Shane, I will, except for I am a man and I'm married already, so no, I will not. Thank you, though. Let's see. Will any story or anecdote that shows your identity help you sell, or should you be careful with what you share? Well, the answer to that is I would rather use a story or an anecdote than not use a story or an anecdote. But, yeah, it does matter what story and what anecdote. So that would be something that we'd want to look at, Deborah. We'd want to, hear from you, find out what you have going on, what kind of stories you can tell, and then we can give you some guidance. But, yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was just talking to one of our clients the other day, Energy Swing Windows, Steve Rennenkamp, and he was showing me an ad that he was going to run. It was an advertorial, and the advertorial was kind of just a boring discussion about how they'd won the Torch Award at the Better Business Bureau. And I said, hey, nobody cares that you won the Torch Award. They do care, though, why you won the Torch Award. And so we told a story in the ad about the time when they botched a job and their supplier had messed up and set the wrong door, and it caused this domino effect of negative things that happened. They ended up doing some things wrong, and the customer was just livid, and they ended up, long story short, they refunded all the customers' money. They gave them exactly what they wanted, and they ate like $8,800. And we put that on the ad, and the headline said, you know, local window company eats $8,800 job to keep customer happy. And then we told the story, and I tell you what, that ad worked like gangbusters. So yeah, I mean, you've got to look at that. I got a question from Norm. He says, do you speak with past customers? We generally do not speak with past customers. I think there's value in speaking to past customers. We can get the information we need from you. Here's what we found. If you've owned your company for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you know what makes you tick. There's a reason you've been in business that long. There's a reason that customers love you. We just got to find out what it is. Okay? Next question. Kristen says, we've polled our customers, and they say our craftsmanship is what makes us stand out. How do you differentiate a message of craftsmanship from other high-end builders? Usually when we start talking about craftsmanship, we will go into a discussion similar, not exactly, but similar to the one that you saw for Don Isaacson, where we don't talk about craftsmanship per se, but we talk about attention to detail and precision and demanding things to be exactly right and perfection. And we find stories, and when we talk about those things in that way, it communicates the concept of craftsmanship without just the drearily boring, hey, we insist on high craftsmanship, and it tends to be extraordinarily effective. As you can imagine, there are probably about 10 or 15 general premises that we see over and over and over for different companies' identities. It's not like there's 100 clients with 100 unique situations. They have, you know, maybe 10 major categories of identity. But then we have to look at each of those companies and find out the details of how they do it and why they do it and how they're different. And like I said, it's like a fingerprint. Every company is absolutely different. But that's good. I mean, when we come to you, is it Kirsten? I think it's Kirsten. I think I said Kristen. Sorry about that, Kirsten. But when we come to you and we start talking to you, you're already going to have a head start, because usually it takes us about 10 minutes to get to the point where you say, oh, it's our craftsmanship. So yeah, we would work on that. Do you help with phone scripting? Absolutely. Phone scripting is a huge part of this. When you answer the phone for the first time, making sure that the identity is integrated into it, making sure that some of your pre-positioning materials are integrated into it. When you do your confirmation calls, making sure that your identity is integrated into it. It makes a massive difference. To think otherwise is foolish. So we want to make sure that at every important point of contact, whether it's online or in an ad or on the phone or at a home show or anywhere else, that identity is shining like a beacon so that people go, wow, I get it. Okay? That was a great question, John. I appreciate that. Any other questions? Please give details on blogging. Well, I'm not going to give massive details on blogging other than to say, as part of our SEO services, we do blogging. I would recommend that you as a company, John and others on here, get involved in your own blogging as well, because there's a limitation to how much blogging we can do for you. I mean, if you want to pay us a tremendous ton of money, then we can do a tremendous ton of blogging. But what we recommend is that we'll do some blogging for you, but we recommend that clients really sit down and put together a schedule of topics that they want to write about, and then just start cranking those things out, because you're the expert. So I recommend, number one, make sure that things that you're blogging about are actually interesting and relevant to people, not just self-serving, not just trying to sell stuff to people. Number two, create a definitive schedule and stick to it. I would recommend that you blog at least 6 times per month to really get maximum effect, and just plan it out. That's 6 times 12, 72 per year. Sit down and plan it out and go to town. So that's just a really brief. John, we don't have a lot of time to cover that in detail, and I do cover that in detail in other venues, but yeah, that's my short course on that. Okay, any other questions? I made a promise that I would stay till the very last question. Anybody else have any questions? If not, we'll be done. Going once? Going twice? Okay. Thanks so much for participating. If you're interested in any of our offers, just send that email to richharshaw@gmail.com, put bonus bundle. Also, if you've checked off that you're interested in a bonus bundle or identity consultation, we'll be happy to talk to you. We appreciate so much you being a part of our webinar, and we look forward to helping you with your business. Thanks so much to our sponsors again one more time. We do appreciate you, and if you did enjoy this webinar, I would urge you to reach out to the sponsor that invited you and just shoot them a little note of appreciation saying, hey, thanks, I appreciate this, please keep it up. That's it. Thanks so much for today. We'll talk to you later. Bye now.